guys, welcome back to Plow and Pantry. Today I am doing some chores in the fruit half of the property here. I'm in the grape orchard, grapevine row. I'm working on I'm trying this new hose that I got. It's got lasered holes in it, so it's kind of like drip irrigation. It's pretty cool. It comes with all the parts you need. You know how sometimes you have to order things separate these days? Well, I was just really impressed with how it came with the stakes and the extra pieces for it if you needed it, and they weren't that expensive, but it's pretty much this hose with holes in it that aren't supposed to like explode, you know, like some soaker hose type situations do. And I'm just staking it along the grapevine here, and it took me, I think I used one 50-foot hose and I had to add in a second 25-foot hose, so I must have around 75 feet of grapes. That's probably good to know. I put it in right side up just to make sure it was working before I turned it on. You just attach your hose to it and turn it on. Didn't need a pressure regulator. And I just loosely put it in the ground with the landscape pins to make sure it was working well, and checked the whole row to see how well it was doing. And then I went back and turned it over. You can put the stripe side down so it works more like what am I trying to say? It works more like drip irrigation and water straight into the ground instead of the air, which is what I'm trying to do here. And I like that this was a temporary setup because I'm obviously have a lot of work to do out here in the grape area, and putting drip irrigation out here in this half the property isn't really feasible right now in setup or money or any other way. So this actually surprised me with how easy it was to install and move around. And so I'm just staking it down, and then you can see me checking here after I turned it over. That's why I put the staples in so loosely. Turned it over, of course I had to pull a weed while I saw it, just to make sure it was doing like a drip irrigation thing, and went along the whole row to check it out, and it did an amazing job. I was very happy with what it did. While that was watering, I decided to plant a bare root. I think it's an American plum. It's something I got from the Tennessee Tree Project. It's either an American plum or a persimmon, but I think it's a plum. Anyways, I'm out here by the peaches and plums in my fruit orchard, and I'm digging a new hole. And I came across a lot of rocks while I'm digging. That's what that is. And it was pretty dry, so it took me a while to get that hole dug. And then I drove across to, I'm going through apple trees here, mostly apple trees, some other things too. Drove across to the other side of the fruit orchard to do the same thing. I'm digging a hole for the mulberry tree I got. My husband decided he wanted mulberries, so we have this sweet gum tree we need to take out that's dead. So I dug a hole here, not far from where it is, because that's where the mulberry tree will go. Removed the grass. There's the dead root from the mulberry. And then just kept digging. Mostly I was removing the grass, loosening the soil underneath. And then I went back over to the house side of the property because I had my trees sitting in a bucket of water over there. So I needed to get over there and pick those up. So I just pulled up to my back porch, grabbed the bucket that had the trees, got them into the UTV, and headed back out over to the plum area where I had been. Grabbed some dirt while I was there. I've got a few bags of dirt laying around, and I like to mix it in with the dirt I have. And then I was getting the plum planted, and I trimmed off the main stem that was with it because it was pretty much dead, but it had a lot of new good growth. Gave it a little bit of tree tone and soil acidifier to get it started. It's kind of a tough part of the year to be planting trees, so I'm gonna have to make sure it stays watered. I just kind of dumped some of the water from the bucket there to get it started. And then I decided after the hose was done watering the grapes, I decided to wind it around the peaches and plums and kind of just see how it worked for that. It was surprising to me how easy it was to move. It really took me less than 10 minutes to pull up the hose from across the grapes, wind it in a weird pattern around the rest of there were 5 other fruit trees in that area, and get it pinned down and kind of use it as a drip kind of way there. So I left that for a while to water the fruit trees in. And then I went over to the mulberry hole and put that dirt in, mixed it in with my shovel, just like at the last hole. We're kind of on a repeat pattern here. And then got the baby mulberry tree planted. And then I did the same thing here where I added a little bit of soil acidifier and a little bit of tree tone. Those are both organic from Espoma. I can link them below for you. But really just trying to get it a good start because it's hot, dry part of the season and not the normal fruit tree starting time. Then I noticed that I missed a fruit tree that had some surviving garlic. These are ones some chickens had dug up and I had replanted them and so I just harvested them real quick. This is a dead grapevine. I know it doesn't look dead, but that growth is coming from underneath and this is grafted, so this is not the grapevine that I planted when it comes down to it. So I was removing that and then doing the same thing as the fruit trees. I was removing what dirt and weeds I could around from the spot at the time to make life easier later, and mixing in some dirt and some soil acidifier and some tree tone, and then putting in a new grapevine. This is a red, I can't remember what it is, red Suffolk grape, I think. I'm just trying to get that planted. It was super crazy hot by this time, and I was really not sure how much longer I was going to last. It's hot and humid. We're having unseasonably warm temperatures here for June, July for us. It's normally not this hot until late July, early August. Anyways, I got that planted, and then I moved that hose again into my fruit orchard, like the main part, just to see how much it would stretch around. Because normally I have to water this by hand, and it takes me about 3 hours. And I just wanted to see if that would be a different option for me, but I think the hose gets too long and too weak towards the end to make that a regular option for me. Before I went in, I needed to do a quick clean on the chicken coop, so I went to get the shavings and the wheelbarrow and the square tip shovel and all that. I was noticing something weird about one of my peppers that looks different than the others. I think I pointed that out on a garden tour. Anyways, so I went over to clean out the chicken coop. This was not a deep clean chicken coop day. This was a definitely need to change out the shavings type of day. So I just remove everything that's in there. I put it in the raised beds in my garden, which was perfect timing because I need to fill some space in there. They're pretty low and I need to top them off, and it's far too much to just fill that with dirt. So I just remove everything, and I use the square tip shovel so I can scrape everything out really well. I toss in some fresh shavings, some diatomaceous earth, and before I put the fresh shavings in, I do spray it with my own little concoction of vinegar and herbs and things that could help maintain the cleanliness of the coop and kill small things like mites, keep flies down, that type of thing. I was going out a side gate and dumping this and trying to not let the chickens out at the same time. Some of them are precocious and a little more curious or wanting to escape than others, but they do have lots of room in their run, so they don't need to come out in the summer when I keep them out of my garden. I did have one little white chicken that was really wanting to lay an egg right then, and I swear she reminded me of a toddler that had to go to the bathroom. She kept coming in to check on things, trying to go in the box, so I was trying to rush and get the nesting boxes cleaned for her, and she just kept going in and out. I don't know if you can see that white one by the front coop door. She's just going in and out. That's Henry. But I got all of the dirty shavings out. I got them into one of my raised beds, and I got new shavings in after I sprayed. And then I also put diatomaceous earth down both under and over these shavings. It's food grade diatomaceous earth, which is what you want if you're putting it around animals. And I do like to be careful with it so that they're not breathing it in and I'm not breathing it in. But that is what it took to clean out the coop this day. And then the very last thing was I needed to water 2 baby trees in a new part that I'm trying to landscape, and I have to bring buckets for that. So I did that, and then I put my garlic I pulled over to dry with the rest of my garlic, and that was the day's chores. Time to go in. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share these videos, and I will see you on the next one.